like 1,000 years, 1,000, sorry, 1,500. That is for before Edfu temples, Kabombo temples, Edfu temple, Karnak. That's for the Karnak for the temples. We can see like a new excavation. That's for the new excavation here in this four area. And Egyptian government will remove all the houses from here to Luxor temples because there's still a lot of antiquities undiscovered here in this four area. And this is for, I told you, like a Sphinx Avenue is connecting. It started from the south of the temples to Luxor, like 3 kilometers, and made a lot of statues. And here, Egyptian, they found a lot of antiquities. That's when here, especially they found over there to see like a big stone, big block. That is for the father of Ramses II. You know, they found under the ground. That is, they found the name of King of Egypt, Seti I. He was the father of Ramses II. That's for the, you know this one, that's cartouche. I told, that's for the cartouche. Cartouche like ID, like a name of king, like a name of the pharaohs. That we see like a shape that's a writing from up to down. That was the religious language, it's the hieroglyphic, that's in ancient time. We can see like a king of Egypt, that's for the king of Egypt, Seti I. He making the offering to Egyptian god. That's for the first shape of Egyptian god, for the god Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra, who's the Amun-Ra? The god of sun, god of sun. He was the son of the god Ra, the god of the old kingdom. That is for the god of the new kingdom. The god for the new kingdom, the god of sun. That is for Egyptian, they take like a 1,500 years to build for this for a place. It's not only one pharaoh. Like any pharaoh ruled for this for country, they added a lot of construction, a lot of building inside for dedicated for Egyptian god, for the god Amun-Ra. But Amun appear with a different shape in ancient time. To see in the right side, left side there, to see with the ram head, a lion body, that is also for the god Amun-Ra, the god of sun. That's for the god Amun-Ra, for the god of sun. Like many statues, 40 statues, all this for the statues made by Egyptian king of Egypt, Ramses II, with the ram head and the lion body. That is the harbor. That's for the harbor. The temple was connected sometimes to the river Nile. The road like a canal is connecting between the temples to the river. That's one here. And Egyptian, they get the stone from West Bank to build the Karnak, the temples. If you look to see the temples, it's unfinished temples, very complex temples because they're built for different time. Let's go to see the temples. And before we go to see, there is art to see. This will be like a small block. That is for obelisk. That is a short obelisk. That's the made in Egypt in ancient time. It's the obelisk. It's a symbol of Egyptian god for the god Ra. It will be like a small piece, one block. And Egyptian in ancient time, they made like a 78 obelisk. Where? Aswan. Aswan, the place for the made obelisk at for the pharaoh time. The obelisk for the symbol of Egyptian god, for the god Ra, the god of sun. You see, it's an amazing symbol. That's early morning. That's for the Karnak, and it's like many statues for the god Amun-Ra. Let's go to see the temple inside and up. Hello. Do you know this one?
Yeah.
Mud. It's mud brick. And now to see, it's a very huge facade, very huge entrance. How Egyptian lift up the stone, that's in ancient time. How Egyptian rise the stone to up. A lot of questions in your mind, I think, yeah? Not aliens. It's built. Yes, not aliens. Yes, not aliens for yes, built for Egyptian civilization. It's everything, it's made by Egyptian. It's everything made by Egyptian. Like to see that's in ancient time, I think that's we saw in our symbol. Like Egyptian, they fix sunrise of the faith of Ramses. That's like a two-time, it's something, it's incredible. That one here. And then we see like Egyptian, how to Egyptian lift up the stone. Like Egyptian we use for the mud brick. First, mud brick, that is Egyptian used it to build the houses of the pharaoh. What is the house? What is the palace of king? Where? East bank of the river Nile, and most houses built with a mud brick. Built with a mud brick, but the Egyptian believed it. Their life just only sacred their life to worship the god. And second, the most houses is built with a mud brick to get cooler inside a house, especially at the summertime and warm in the winter time. And most houses destroyed by time, but Egyptians believed it. Their life started after death. That's now we can see like huge pyramids and huge tombs. That's when we go to see the Valley of the King. You'll see the tombs, not the tombs. You'll see such as a palace of king. That you'll see for later. And Egyptian we use for the mud brick, we made like stairs. We make like stairs, like with many steps to pushing to rise the stone to up, like built step by step, step by step. And any temples in Egypt such as Karnak, but only like two temples are different. Abu Simbel and Hatshepsut temples, because not building. It's a carpet. It's a carpet in a mountain. That's Abu Simbel we saw, and later we see for Hatshepsut temples. But any temple like Philae temples or Greek, or that's for Edfu temple, Luxor temples, the same of Karnak. The first part we can see the facade of the temples. That's like a king. He show his military power. Second part for the open courtyard. That's for the open courtyard. That is for the place for the common people, local people came here like 3 times a day, 1 time morning, 1 time afternoon, 1 time at night, for making the offering, and they pray for Egyptian god for the Get Amra. And the third part for the columns area. The columns area, that is for the place of the priest of God. That's for the priest of God, like you pray for Egyptian god for the Get Amra. And the last part of the temple is sanctuary. Sanctuary, that is for the house of God. That's for the house of God. Yeah, but the first part they built not pylon. They built the sanctuary, and then columns, and then the open courtyard. And last part for that is for the facade of the temples. If you look to see for this one, that is unfinished pylon. Unfinished pylon or facade of the temples. Why? That is they built in the end of the Pharaoh time in the 3rd dynasty by Egyptian king of Egypt, the last Egyptian king, the last Egyptian pharaoh. That is for Karnak Temple in the 3rd dynasty, and then for Egyptian business by Greek and the Roman conquered. This for time, if you look to see like unfinished and to see like a 2 tower. This will be a short one, to see like a huge one. And the king, he died early. And then for the Greek Romans to come to Egypt, how many years the Greek Roman ruled this 4 country? It's 300 years. 300 years. But the Greek Roman to come to Egypt such as like a student. They teach everything from the old civilization, and then they built like Edfu temple, Kobombo temple. That's we saw the same design, the same culture of Egyptian pharaohs, the same god of Egyptian pharaohs in this 4 time. If you look to see the Karnak, I told you like unfinished temples, unfinished, very complex temple, because they built for different time. This part 19th dynasty, it's built by Ramses. This part in the 30th dynasty by Egyptian king of Egypt, Nektenebu. This part it's 25th dynasty. Over there we can see like 3 rooms. That is for the room. That's for the 3 room. This is chapel or shrine for dedicated for the middle one for the god Amura, but they close for restoration. And right side, left side, one for the son of the god Amura, one also for the wife of the god Amura, for the god smooth, for the god of wisdom. And this like a new part. Let's see for this part. That is like already like a couple months ago. Egyptian they finish restoration to see like many statues with the ram head, the lion body. That for this, all this for the statues for made by Egyptian king of Egypt, Ramses II. And this is for dedicated for Egyptian god, for the god Amun Ra, the god of sun. Amun Ra for the god of sun. And Egyptian recently, like 30 years ago, they found under the ground is like you see statues over there. That's for the statues. It's made from alabaster. That's for the statues of King Tut. You know King Tut? King come on. This is, you know King Tutankhamun? Yeah, King Tutankhamun or King Tutankhamun or King Tut. That is not like a very famous king in ancient time. It's a very famous king in a modern history. Because Howard Carter, that's where the British excavator discovered his tombs in 1922. Little bit like a very small one, very tiny tombs in the Valley of the King. Discovered like a small boy. That's for the small boy. Like the King Tut, when he was 9 years, was king of Egypt until 19 he died. And Egyptian they found this stone. It's made from alabaster. What type of stone? Alabaster. Alabaster. That's one of the type of stone making or the bring light in dark area. And alabaster with 3 colors: brown, yellow, white. And later when you go to the West Bank, to see like a big area for alabaster. That's like Egyptian people still we get for the stone to make a statues like a pharaoh. That's in ancient time. That's the statues with the shape of Egyptian god for the god Amra, and this for the statues of Egyptian king of Egypt. That's for the king Tutankhamun. That's for the king for Tutankhamun. But we have to go to see this temple. That is for the temple is built by Ramses III. Abibi, this is a temple built by Ramses III. How many Ramses in Egyptian history? How? 11. 11 Ramses. Yes. That is for the number 2. That's a very famous one. That's he married like many wives, more than 50 wives, more than 50. That's like Ramses, and you see it would be like a small statue there. That is for the Nefertari. It's the first wife. Yeah, just a wife. That's we saw. That's an Abu symbol. That is for the Nefertari. Like you see for this one, that's for the Nefertari. It's the first wife of Ramses. He loved her so much, but after she died, Ramses had married 50 wives. That's after she died, Nefertari. That's You see, that is for the Ramses. Yes, it's a love. That's for the love. But he made like a special temple, Abu symbol, Nefertari temple. That is for the eternal love between Nefertari and Ramses II. That's like the place we visit for Abu Simbel. That is the city of Nefertari. That's for the city of Nefertari. He loved her and made like a special temple for her, and he made like a special temple for himself. That's Ramses II. That is the Ramses III. Look to see for the Ramses III. Son of Ramses II. But who's father of Ramses II? It's the city the first. And Ramses I, he was the grandfather of Ramses II. The grandfather of Ramses II. And this will be like a very small temple, but a beautiful temple to see. That's to see like a king of Egypt. Ramses III, he bought his hair, the feet in front of the body, just like presenting the life. When you look to see like another one over there with another side, he put his hand over the body, like that. That's representing the death or the second life. Death and life. Death and life. That is for Ramses II and Ramses III. And you'll see this on Byron or facade of the temple. You see like a king of Egypt. Ramses III, that's for the king Ramses III. He kept like many slaves, two presenting for Egyptian god, for the god Amun-Ra, the god of sun. Inside the temple, you will see for the upper courtyard. This is for the open courtyard. Again, we can see this side for this for temples. You see like many pillars, many columns, and in front each pillar we can see like a big statues. That is to see like Ramses III, but you see Ramses III in the death or the second life. Ramses III, he was king of Egypt, like a 35 years. That's a 35 years. He was the son of Ramses II, and here that every day for Egyptian we coming just like a restoration. Like most part of the temple, we see like many things like destroyed by time, especially for the flooding of River Nile. But now we can show exactly the sanctuary. That's for the sanctuary of the temple. Sanctuary of the temple. This is for sanctuary, like a house of God. That is for the place Egyptian believed it. Like Egyptian, the God living here. That's in ancient time. That's a sanctuary of the temples. Like any temples in ancient time, there is other sanctuary. Like Abu Simbel, which is a sanctuary. like a 4 statues, that's for the house of God. And here it's a sea, that is for the boat. The boat I show you exactly in a visitor center. That we see like a king of Egypt, Ramses III. He makes it. Visit the temples like 3 times a day, and they bring little food, little drink, and this like a store room for the food and drink. And the second one, that is to get like energy. That we get energy from Egyptian god for the god Amun Ra. Okay, we can go that inside. Okay, go ahead. We get like energy from Egyptian god for the god Amun Ra. All the Dandara temples. Dandara temple, it's a Greek and Roman temple. That's the name. It's a Komombo temple. Yes. And this is for the Pharaoh now. Because Greek, Roman, we can find a creeps. And 2 temples in Egypt. Like 3 temples in Egypt. Yes. Well, to the height, the gold and the ground. That's behind the 2 sanctuaries in Komombo temples, yes. Like a room. Hello? Yes, come closer, please, sir. It's impressive area. It's 134. No reason for number, but 134 columns. That's built by Egyptian. That's built by Egyptian. Like 3,500 years, Egyptians started to building for the columns here in this 4 area. And we see like 3 pharaoh or 3 king, they built for this 4 part. Ramses II, he built for this part. They built like 61. And 61 pillars. We can see that's columns. To see the capitals, that's for the capital. That is for papyrus. You know papyrus or papyrus? Yeah. That's like a symbol of papyrus, the symbol of Lower Egypt. Second to see over there, the 12 pillar in the middle is very huge. It's a 23 meters. It's very huge. And this is the capital. It's a lotus. That is for the lotus flower. That's when you see like lotus and papyrus. That's like united between Upper and the Lower Egypt, because Egypt, that's at the pre-dynasty time for the 7,000 years, 6,000 years, like Egypt like 2 parts, divided like 2 parts, Upper and Lower. Now we are here in Upper Egypt, the end of the second dynasty, like a 5,000 years, the King Narmer united Upper and the Lower. It's a Upper and Lower with 1 kingdom and 1 crown and 1 capital in this 4 time. And then for Egyptians started to build the pyramid at the Old Kingdom. How many pyramids built in Egypt? Not 3.
100.
It's 138. Around 138 pyramids. Pyramids, it's a tombs, the house of king. That's in the death in ancient time. And this is at the New Kingdom. At the Egyptian history, like 3 kingdoms, Old, Middle, and New. The Old is the capital in the north, that's in Cairo. And the second also, the Middle Kingdom, that's the Cairo. And the third, the New Kingdom, the capital here in Upper Egypt. And during for this time, 3,500 years, Egyptians they built for this place. It's impressive. It's a greatness. Architecture, it's made by Egyptians. That's in ancient time. But how Egyptian they built for this area, to see like a built step by step. Again, it's built by step by step. This for columns. That is like a built for the base of columns. And then they bring a lot of mud to make like a stairs, to like pushing or rise for the second piece. And then we made like a stairs for the same level to the third piece, like built step by step. And after they finish, they remove the sand and mud and they carve it from up to down. What we can see like a name of king. That's we see like a cartouche, the name of king. Second to see, that's for the papyrus. You know papyrus or papyrus? That is for this for the plant. It's still like growing here in the south of Egypt. It's growing beside the river because they need a lot of water and high temperature. And Egyptian we use for this for the plant. We made paper. You know paper, that's for paper, papyrus. How to make for paper, like Egyptians, they remove the part of the green and we use the part inside to make for a slice, to put it in the water like 5-6 days to reduce for amount of sugar. And then for the slice, 1 time put it vertical, horizontal, to make a paper and put it under the thumb like a couple weeks, and then they're writing everything about the king and gut, and they carve it under the tomb or temples or something like that for papyrus, like a source of our information about Egyptian history. And second, to see like here, everything here, to see like Ramses with a different gut. That's Ramses II with Egyptian gut for the Horus. He making the offering, especially like celebrated for the festival. Which festival? Hatshepsut. What Hatshepsut? Like a king after ruled the country like a 30 years, like sitting in the throne of Egypt like a 30 years. The priest of Ammon celebrated here for like a second chance to like rule Egypt like a 30 years again. So like now we make election like each 4 years. In ancient time at 30 years. At 30 years. Over there we can see like Egyptian. That's like we see like Egyptian king of Egypt Ramses in front for the main god. So this for the god Amon-Ra, and the god Amon-Ra we give him the key of life. You know the key of life. It's ink. We give him like stability and long life. That one here. Over there are beautiful seeds. But before we doing, we can see the color. That is not original color. That's not original color. It's still Egyptian. They do restoration. And you see here the temple no roof. But here we have artificial roof. That's because people are still like doing restoration here. After Egyptian they remove for the roof. Any temple built by Egyptian ancient time, no roof. Any temple built by Greek Roman with the roof, because the Greek Roman is built in the second floor of the temple, like mini chapel, mini shrine, mini storage room. That's one here. And here there are, if you look at the stories, they're talking about the history of King you see the festival, that is for the ritual religious of the festival. We can see this for the boat again, that's for the boat. And you'll see that is for the face of Egyptian god. You know this one for the Egyptian god? Anubis, for the god of mummification, with the jackal face and the human body. Second to see for the horse. But this is like many people. That is for the priest. The priest at the festival time, they wearing the mask of Egyptian god Horus and Anubis. That's for the local priest at the festival time. They're wearing the mask of Anubis, and that's for Horus. In the middle, this is the high priest. That's for the high priest. The high priest, just like a carry the boat from the sanctuary to the river Nile, from the sanctuary to the river Nile. And then we can see like a king of Egypt. That's for the king of Egypt, for the Ramses II. He's breathing for the perfume and incense. He walking in the temples for the through the columns, and he's breathing the perfume and incense. Why? To expel for the bad spirit outside the temples during for the festival time. It's a carry the boat from the sanctuary, the end of the temple, to the river Nile, and the king he walking for the through the columns and spreading the perfume and incense to expel bad spirit outside the temple. That is for the ritual religious at the festival time. See like many, a lot of like a local priest. In ancient time, there were like a local priest and high priest. Local priest like cleaning the temples, they cooking in the temples here, and the high priest that is living beside the sanctuary. That's only visit the sanctuary every day. There is over there a very beautiful scene to see for this one. I think you saw that our symbol. Come closer, please. Do you know this one? You know this one? I think we saw our symbol. That is for the gut. That's for the gut. Just you see like one hand, 1 feet with a long banana. That is for the fertility gut. That's for the fertility gut or the gut of sex for the gut Ammon-men. What's the story? Do you know, I think we thought that's an Abu Simbel. It's a fertility gut. In Abu Simbel, they carved the story like a mythology for Egyptian gut for the fertility gut. That's for the gut Ammon-men. It's called the Ammon-men. What's the story for this for gut? There was like a war between Egypt and another nation. All Egyptian king and soldiers went to the war on God, and only one God stayed in Egypt to guard it for Egyptian women. After the finish of the war, all of them returned back. They thought all Egyptian women pregnant from only one God, and then decided to cut his feet and hand and they buried in a desert. And after for 7 months, around his graves, the Egyptian, they found like a green area and called for the god of fertility or the god of sex. And the traditional in ancient time, like any woman's wanted to find a good husband, just had to come to visit the temples like 7 days to touch for banana god every day morning, to touch his banana to find a good husband and a pregnant. This like a mythology that's in ancient time. Any man wanted to get like a more fertility before a marriage party had to come to visit temples and also like a touch for his banana like a 7 times to get like a more fertility. Look to see Ramses II, he making the offering, because Ramses, he married like 50 wives. I think we need energy. That's we come to visit to and making the offering, especially to see he making the offering, to see this like a special perfume, like a priest of Egyptian god Amun-Ra. They, as the Amun men, make like a special oil and a special perfume for the king of Egypt, Ramses, to get like more fertility. That's one here. That's for the banana god, or the god of sex, or the god for Amun men. Or the god of sex or banana god, that's for the god Amun men. Don't touch. Let's go. Built by Ramses, you find like a fertility god or god of any temples in Egypt by Ramses, because Ramses, they love women. He married like more than 50, and he get married 3 daughters. He married 3 daughters. Ramses II, like greedy man for women. That's in ancient time, yes. And now we can show exactly something like unique here in this for temples. That is, we see like something that is, I think we saw also an Abu symbol. That is like a fighting or the war between Egyptian and Syrian people. That we see Ramses II. That's riding his chariot. That is for the battle Kaddish between Egyptian and Syrian. This war, they take like longer time between Egyptian and Syrian people. And the end of the war, to see like a king of Egypt, Ramses II, he catch like many slaves, to presenting for Egyptian god, for the god Amun-Ra, the god of sun. The end of this war, Egyptians, they signed for the agreement of the peace, just like a treaty of the peace between 2 nations, Egyptian and Syrian. And this is for the first, just like a treaty of the peace between 2 nations, agreement of the peace between 2 nations, Egyptian and Syrian. And the copy of this for the treaty of the peace now in the United Nations between 2 in the history of the world. That's like a peace between 2 nations, Egyptian and Syrian. That is for the treaty of the peace between 2 nations, Egyptian and Syrian. It's a carpet here in the temple. It's a Karnak, and also in Abu symbol in the south of Egypt. I told you the Karnak, not one temples. There are many temples, but it's closed for restoration. Like a Karnak temples, 100 year Karnak temples, with the most part of the temple like 5-6 meters buried under the ground. It's the flooding, they carry a lot of mud. We cover all this for area, and Egyptian only that's now for that's restored for just like one temple, and it's still like many temples. It's a closed for restoration here in this area. Can to show exactly the other side, the explanations. Second. Watch your steps, please. Don't worry, I give you like free time. I give you like a 40-minute free time to take a photos. Don't worry, but come to show exactly like a very important scene. We can see in the temple, that is the coronation of King of Egypt, Ramses II. Like a 67, that's like the longest pharaoh, rules this country. Like 67, controls this country, rules this country, Ramses II. We look to see the first step of coronation, to see like Ramses. That's a Ramses between 2 gods. That we see like a god, the god of writing, the god of knowledge, and this is the Horus. What they doing? They washing the body of King of Egypt, Ramses, by waters and honey and milk at the festival. That's at the coronation. It's like a first step of coronation. The second step, to see like Horus, Egyptian god, making crown. The third one, to see like a presentation, to see like Egyptian goddess Isis, for the goddess of love, presenting the King of Egypt to the main god. That's for the main god, or the god Amun-Ra, or the god of sun. That's one here. Amun, and to see the wife of the god Amun. That is for the coronation of Ramses. To see like a coronation with 3 steps is a purification first, second making crown, and the third one presentation, like presenting the king to the main god. Another side, there are very beautiful scene. We can see that's for the Ramses II. This one, Ramses. You can see Ramses II. That's in the middle of tree. That's where the tree fly. That we can see like tree fly. And you see for Egyptian God. Come to show exactly this one for God. That's for the God of knowledge. The God of writing, the God of knowledge. That's for the God. That's for the God. He's writing the name of King of Egypt. Ramses II. That is in the tree fly. In the leaf for the tree fly. In front, Ammon. That's for the Ammon Ra. That is for the wife of the God of Ra. The goddess Mut. The God of Allah. And the third one for the God. That's for the God. The God of the Ammon Mut. Ammon, God of sun, and his wife Mut. Their son, Karnak. Arabic is saying Khansa. That is for the God of the sun, who was the son of the God Ammon Ra. The God of sun. That's a very beautiful scene to see like a Ramses sitting in front of Ammon Mut Consort. Ammon Mut Consort. That is the Riyadh of Thebes. You know Thebes, the name of Luxor. What is the Greek people? Greek. We have Thebes in Greeks, yeah? That is, yes, that is the city, yeah. Thebes, Theba.
Yes.
Is you know the name of Luxor at the Greek Roman time? Theba. That's Theba. Yeah, Thebes. It's called here Thebes. It's called Theba here. In Arabic, we say Theba or Thebes. That is the name of Luxor at the Greek and Roman time. It's in ancient time called Wisit Ammon, city of Ammon. Second name, it's a Greek name, Thebes. And Luxor, that's a modern name. That's for the name of this city, the capital of Egypt. That's one here. Over there we see the color, that's like a new color. That's what restored. That's one here. To see like a king of Egypt again, Ramses II, he making the offering to the banana garden. That's one here. Let's go to show you that. That is for scarab. Scarabeo.
Okay, nice.
Scarab or scarabeo or scarabajo. That's, yeah. Come closer, please, to show exactly for the story of the scarab. Yes, Habibi, come.
I'm here.
Yes, perfect. Because it's like that's a very important for everybody. Just for the just for fun, to see for the scarab for beauty for luck. That's for the scarab for beauty for luck. You know scarab for Egyptian god, for the god Kibber, the god of luck, the god of happiness. You see like a big flock. You see like a couple. If you're waiting like 20 minutes, you see like a lot of tourists to come in to make a circle around like 3 times. 3 times to get luck, to get happiness, to get money. 5 times to get marriage. 7 times pregnant for lady. Wait. 10 times divorce. Yes. And 15 times for the special hope for a man to find a second wife in the futures. And 20 times that's like a special hope for lady to find a good husband, the fertility man such as the Ramses II. That's in ancient time. That's for the scarab for beauty, for luck. That's one here. It's 3 for luck, for happiness, for money, and 5 for marriage, and 7 times for pregnant, and 10 times for divorce, and 15 times just like a special hope for man to find a second wife in the future, and exactly 20 like a special hope for lady to find a good husband, like very fertility man, such as the Ramses. That's in ancient time for the scarab for beauty, for luck. And over there we see like a swimming pool. That's for the swimming pool. That's for the sacred lake. That's for the sacred lake. The sacred lake is still like connecting to the river Nile by small canals, and at the ground, that is for the same water level in the river. That's like a water, like a priest of Egyptian god for Amun-Ra in ancient time, the local priest and high priest, just like a before to visit the sanctuary of the god Amun-Ra, they washing their body by waters, and the royal family also. That's in ancient time. If you look to see there, to see like a three obelisk, like to see like 3 obelisk. You know obelisk, just like a one piece, one block. How Egyptian we cut it. That's everything. It's a cut it in the quarries in Aswan. It's a place for the granite. In ancient time, like Egyptian, they cut like one piece, one block, and then they carve at the top to see like a pyramid shape. And then the king, he writing the name, just like a name, his name, and second writing the history. That is for the biggest one made in Egypt. That is for the middle one. It's a huge one. That is for Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut, a lady. That's for the first queen of Egypt in ancient times. Hatshepsut. The people in Luxor here, it's so angry if you say Hatshepsut. The nickname of the lady, I told you, hot chicken soup. Hot chicken soup. It's the first queen, very strong lady, powerful lady. At for the Pharaoh time, she made one beautiful obelisk in Egypt. It's a 29 meter there. It's over like a 500 tons. That is for the huge one. How to remove, how transfer from Aswan to Luxor? By boat. By boat, not only one boat, like a 3 boat. That's one here. And there, if you look to see by the top of the obelisk, just a Hatshepsut, they painting by gold color to reflect sunrise in the morning. That's one here, Hatshepsut of obelisk. That's one here, and this Hatshepsut. And the third one over there, that's for the made by the father of the queen for Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut, a very strong lady, powerful lady, but the lady with a long fake beard addressed as the fairest appeared in ancient time. Later, we go after that, we go to see Hatshepsut temples. I tell you exactly for the story for the first queen of Egypt, Hatshepsut, and the second queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. You know Cleopatra, that's like a Greek Roman. You know, in Egyptian history, we have 7 Cleopatra, but the second one, the number 7, she was the second queen of Egypt after Hatshepsut. Now the temple is empty. That's for the story of the Karnak temples. I hope you enjoyed the Karnak temples, and that's before we go to give you like free time. We can to see there. That is a Karnak, like 100 years, like the most part of the temple is buried under the ground. I think if you come like Egypt in the future, after 5 or 6 years in the future, you will find like a new place here to find like many temples here in this area. It's a Karnak like a 63 hectares. 63 hectares. It's the biggest place. There's like a 83,000 workers in ancient time built for this place, for dedicated for Egyptian god for the god Amra. Is a Karnak with the 8 entrances. There are many temples in the southeast area. North of the area, there are like many chapel. You know, chapel or shrine, just like a room for dedicated for a different god.